What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Eclectic Beard. This go around, be looking at British Schools Explained. That's something that, oddly enough, 2 years in, I haven't looked at very hard. So, yeah, let's see what she's got to say. Maybe I can learn me some facts.
Hi, I'm Siobhan Thompson, and this is Anglophenia. Now, many of the most beloved stories from the UK are set in schools, all the way from Tom Brown's School Days to Harry Potter and the History Boys. But the British school system is remarkably different from that in the US, so much so that it's often the first thing that Americans ask me to explain to them. So, here is the Cliff's Notes version of how the British school system works, but study up because there's going to be an exam at the end of the video. Public schools and state schools. What Americans call private schools are called public schools in the UK, and what you call public schools, we call state schools. There are also some private schools that don't call themselves public schools, they call themselves private or independent schools, but most of the ones that Americans are thinking about, you know, where people live in a mansion
Well, how
and
does
wear a
that
very
work?
silly
'Cause
uniform,
private schools here, you
are
pay for and all
called
that good
public
stuff.
schools. Got it? Most state schools these days are comprehensives, meaning that they accept students of every academic ability, but there was a system that's still in place in some areas of secondary modern and grammar schools. There, kids take a test at 11 to see what type of school they'll go to, the grammar schools being more academic and the
Okay, she's going a little bit fast here. Please break some of this down for me before you get too far into this video, pretty please.
secondary modern's more vocational. Church schools. There's
vocational,
no
okay.
separation of church and state in the UK, so many schools, both state and public, are church schools. Oddly, this doesn't translate into later church attendance, which is much lower in the UK than in the US. Sort of like how most people don't use algebra after the age of 18, I guess.
But here's what I didn't hear. Here, private schools you pay for, like you pay out of pocket for. Like if I wanted to send my kids to the private school up the road, $15,000 a semester, like it's pricey, some of them. Even the school that I went to growing up, it was like $3,500, $4,500 a semester. Once I hit 16 and got old enough to work, I paid my own way through my school, books and all. So I paid for my tuition, my books, my clothing, all of that stuff. So is that the way the private schools work there, or?
Uniforms. Pretty much all schools have some kind of uniform, ranging from a school jumper all the way up to the white tie and tails that they wear at Eton. The idea behind it is to create a sense of identity and school pride. See? Still fits.
Here they do stuff like that so it's uniformity and nobody wants to take and beat the hell out of you over your shirt or your pants or your shoes. It's the reason why we have uniforms here. Because that happens. There's been kids shot and their sneakers taken in school. And out of school too, but kids getting jumped for just a shirt that somebody wants or a pair of shoes that somebody wants. Like, yeah. It's the reason why we got... that way you don't stand out too much. It's kind of messed up. Like, badly.
Prefects. In British schools, older students can be chosen to be prefects. Being a prefect sounds super cool, but in reality it mostly entails policing the lunch line and stopping the younger kids from hitting each other. You do get a cool badge though, so that's something. Most schools also have a head boy and a head girl who attend school council meetings and give a speech at prize giving at the end of the year. Oh, prize giving is the closest thing that we have to a graduation ceremony. Exams. National exams are a huge part of the British school experience.
Wait, so no graduate... So you'd basically just like, alright, I'm done. Peace. Deuces. Or whatever. Is that how that works? It's kind of interesting because you go to school here at, kindergarten to 12th grade, and at the end of it, they make a big ado about it. Of course... Again, y'all's school system.
It's all very simple. You take GCSEs at 16 and then A-levels at 18, which are kind of like AP exams, but different. Also, in Scotland, they study for Highers instead of A-levels, and GCSEs used to be called O-levels. Also, AS levels happen in the middle of A-levels. Look, it's just... This is the most complicated bit, I promise. Revision. This is just what we call studying for exams. It's not a biggie, just a lot of people seemed confused about it. Juniors and seniors. Instead of the American system of elementary school, middle school and so on, most British schools are divided into juniors and seniors. Junior school, also called primary school, is for 4 to 11-year-olds, and senior school is for 11 to 18-year-olds. At some public schools they divide it up a little differently. They have pre-prep from 4 to 7, prep from 7 to 13, and then senior from 13 to 18. Sixth form. The last 2 years of school is called the sixth form, divided into the lower sixth and upper sixth. The name is a hangover from a previous, more complicated system of naming classes which has stuck around for some reason. In many schools, sixth formers are given a lot more freedom than the other students, often being allowed to wear their own clothes instead of school uniform. Cool. University. You apply to do a single subject at British universities and only study that one thing. No maths or language requirements or any of that other stuff that you have to do at American colleges.
Bro, that sounds freaking... That's intelligent as hell. You're going for this. There's no reason why you should need to know how to write an essay if you're going to college for computer programming. Like, you should... Equations and stuff like that, I can kind of get, because you do need to know some stuff for, like, programming. Like, there's some algorithmic equation type stuff, but even still, that can be taught within the confines of computer programming. Even like if you go for something else, like it's a requirement. You got to take English and math if you don't meet up to their standards for it. And it's like, bruh, but I'm not going to do anything that involves English or really math. It's kind of dumb. Like, it's really dumb. Like, if I want to be a history major, I shouldn't have to be doing history and math, or math and English.
Bachelor's degrees generally take 3 years, and you know what, let's just cover this in another video, it's very complicated. So there we go. Are there any things about British schools that you have questions about? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Also, if you have any other questions about British culture, you can tweet us at Anglophenia, and maybe your topic will be covered in another...
Okay, so yeah, the public schools are ones that charge a fee, basically, like our private schools do, and the all-state schools are the free ones. Okay, that first part, she went through so fast, I was like, whoa, what? And I didn't want to take and rewind it like 400 times, but that's what Google is for, so yeah. This is interesting because the way y'all taking level stuff, like elementary, middle, and high school, y'all basically have the same thing from what she's saying. It's just, it's called different stuff. So, but it is, y'all do have differences in the way y'all take and do things as well, because, like the one that she was talking about, like with occupation, or, would be like a vocational type thing. Like, we don't have that type of thing here. We've got programs within certain schools or programs outside of schools that teach occupational stuff, but we need to actually have schools that once you hit like 8th grade, then you figure out if you're going to take and go to college, or if you're going to go to the workforce, and you take and go to school learning the basics of what you're going to be doing in the workforce, and then be sent to the workforce. Like, that just makes more sense. College, you do college prep, and colleges here, the university, the way y'all do them, as she explained it, just taking studying that one subject, that makes a hell of a lot more sense than having to take and go to school for, I'm gonna go to school to be an IT tech. Well, you gotta learn this math and English and composition before you do that. What? Like, it's, to me, that never made any sense. Same thing with like accounting. If you go for accounting, okay, well, you need the math, that makes sense, but why do you have to take and do English comp and literature classes? Made no sense. So yeah, hope y'all enjoyed this. Y'all be good to each other. Love yourselves.